Hello and welcome to Raven's Plains. My name's Raven Black. Today we're back here at 8D4, and I wanted to go over a bug that I fixed in my airports that hopefully may help other scenery designers not fall into this trouble that I have gotten myself into. For the longest time since Beta 1, every time I go to land at an airport or even take off and look back at an airport, I get this huge leg spike. And I could not figure out for the life of me what it was. I went and I optimized all of these textures. That didn't do anything. I got rid of buildings and all that stuff. That didn't do anything. I could not for the life of me figure out why I would get this big leg spike, and then when everything would go back to normal, I'd get 45 frames a second locked. Everything was fine. Well, I finally figured out what it was, and it happens to be the grass. So apparently in Vulkan, Laminar Research rewrote or changed how forest files work. They now work differently than they did in X-Plane 11.41. All this grass was here in 11.41 and worked totally fine. I never had any issues with it until I hit a Vulkan beta, and I just couldn't figure out what it was. You can see in this video that I'll play right after this that as I land into 8D4 at this airport in 11.41, everything was fine. So I got 33 frames coming in for a landing here. Actually, I think I can correct for this. There we go. It's a little rough. Whoa, 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 whoa. Stay on the runway. Now after that, Beta 1 was released, and then I flew into 8D4, and this is what happened. Just locked in. Oh, there's a little bit of hitching. Oh, 20 frames, look at that. Oof. Still 20. Wow. This is rough. Still 20. That loading icon came up even. Wow. This thing is not having a good time right now. Oh, 19. Look at it, just bottom now. Look at pure. Oh, it's just sitting there. Huh. It was so bad in Beta 1 that if I didn't run VMI Twic, the game would literally crash trying to fly into this airport. And I could not figure out what it was. But apparently they changed how trees and my grass is rendered, since I'm using the same format that they used to create trees for my grass. They changed how that works, and that actually basically recalculates every time you look at it, whether you can see it or not, which is a little weird. But for trees, it's fine because it just recalculates, and there's not that many. I mean, looks like there's tons, but it's just recalculating positions, I'm guessing, or something like that. But for my grass, which is pretty dense and mixed in with all the trees, it really just lags out my computer for a second, and then everything comes back to normal. So why don't we get back to the plane, and we'll get up in the air, and I'll show you exactly what it was doing, and then how I finally figured out what was going on. As you can see, though, from X-Plane's blog post that they had just recently, they said they fixed the clouds, and I've been playing around with that a little bit more, and I know I said in my video that I was having issues with the clouds, and then all of a sudden they just worked fine. They weren't hitting frame rate at all. That was also due to the grass, because I get a big stutter when I load it in, and it was due to the grass loading in. Since I used that at multiple airports, that's what was going on. So let's get this plane in the air and we'll get going. All right, let's get this plane started up here. Oops, not that. Not that. Oh, wait. Yes. That. And this. We'll pick a tank here. And full on that. Alright, we're all started up here. Get out the VMI Twick so we can see your frame rate. So when I first did these tests, I used the stock 172 and was testing that, but I have trouble doing videos with stock planes. But does your 172 have dual GTNs? Because you'd be a lot cooler if you did. The link in the description below to set up this mod. Alright. So let's take her out. We'll do takeoff laps at there. And taxiing on out. So I'm getting 45 locked here. No big deal. It's a little windy today, and the wind is 10 knots, gusting to 18. So we'll head out here and take off, and then I'll be able to show you the lag, which amazingly only happens in the air. As you can see, you know, taxiing out, everything's fine with the grass, doesn't have any issues. Right. And we're going to do heading and altitude. So yeah, if I look back, see that? This huge leg spike every time I look back at the airport. And I just lost, oh, okay, it's still here. So what it's doing is it's basically unloading that grass and then recalculating it when I look back at the airport. And as you can see, it's as we come back around, every time I look at it, it goes through the big leg spike and even makes my plane bounce around. It's crazy. And it can handle it graphically. You can see it just stabilizes at 45. But the second I look away and then look back at the airport, just legs out again. You can see all these leg spikes. Makes it very hard to land. So yeah, that's what I was seeing over and over, trying to figure out why Vulkan was doing that. Because otherwise it's smooth. It's just every time you look at the airport, it's recalculating the grass somehow, even though it's not rendering it and I can't see it, and it's outside its LOD, it still calculates it all, or calculates its position. Because even if I look down there, you can't see any of it, it's all faded out. When I look away, and look back. Now I'm like close enough that it doesn't need to recalculate it. There it goes again. Chunk, chunk, chunk. And then smooth. So I'm unsure if other scenery designers are using the forest files in the way I am. See, these are all forest files as well, and they all seem to work just fine. Like I have no trouble looking at this stuff, but if I look back at the airport, how I'm using that stuff is it's not working very well. So that sums up the lag we were seeing, and so I'm going to restart with the new and improved grass. I'll show you the new density and stuff and how little I had to tweak it in order to get rid of all of that lag looking back at the airport. So I'll be back in just a bit. Alright, now that I got the new grass loading in, let me show you what it looks like. So yeah, as we come out, you can see that it's a little less dense. And also I cut away all the grass that was a bit farther away from any taxiway or the runway. I'm going to have to redo this texture just to blend it in more, but it's not so bad. So once I get the new texture in and everything, it should look pretty good as you're cruising along on the taxiways, and I may even be able to add some sparse stuff in the blank areas to fill that in. So why don't we get back in the plane, and I'll show you the performance difference between the old version and the new version of the grass. Alright. And we'll open up our VMI Twic here. Let's load the good settings here. And let's start this puppy up. First, I gotta move my seat forward here. Alright. Yeah. Big tank. And start the plane up. So yeah, some of you may be asking why I don't just use regular meshes for the grass, and to be honest, the force files are actually render a lot quicker and are a lot faster for frame rate than if I was to use meshes, which I do see a lot of senior artists doing, but they usually don't use very many. We're going to take off from this direction, which I should have done the last time, as the wheels were squeaking on the way out. But yeah, as you can see, it doesn't look so bad. Once I get that grass to blend a little better, I don't think anyone will even notice. But it's all about the frame rate. Right now we're locked at 45. And we are off. Airspeed's alive. Shoots into the air. Flaps are up. And we're gonna head up here to pattern altitude, where I will then oops, not that one either. There we go. Sorry about that. I think she's staying at altitude. So we can slow her down a little bit, and then we'll start heading towards back. Now if I look back behind me, you'll see that looking all around, there's no frame rate dip at all. Looking back towards the airport, doesn't have an effect at all on frame rate. Though I can't really see the airport. It's over there somewhere. But as you can see, I just have a locked frame rate with It's a lot nicer to be flying past the airport without a bunch of lag. Took quite a bit of a turn coming out of there, away from the airport. Yeah, if I look away, whoa, looking away, I actually got a little bit of a dip. That's interesting. It's a random dip. So now that's just up to Vulkan doing some weird stuff. Overall, coming in to land here, she's pretty solid at 45. So we'll slow her down here. I'll take the autopilot off. Do some hand flying. Yeah, this is much better than what I had going on. I couldn't even look at the airport without it lagging out. So we're going to do one set of flaps here. I'll turn base. But yeah, as you can see, zero lag looking at the airport. I have to crab her in a little. Yeah, problem solved. I just have to rethink and redo just a little grass I had here. Some more over here too that I was going to get rid of. She just wants to float. It's a bit of a hard landing there. Did not want to come down. But as you can see, no frame rate drop at all. I get 45 just taxiing through here, so I'm pretty happy with the results. I just wish there was more like profiling programs for X-Plane to see what is actually using a lot of resources. If anyone knows how to look at specific aspects of X-Plane and what resources it's using, please let me know in the description below, because that'll be very beneficial to be able to find bugs like this. I just kind of found this on accident. I removed the grass on accident and then was flying around and noticed that there was no lag looking at the airport. So I didn't think it would actually be that. So as we cruise through here, it hasn't really dropped below 45 at all. We just had that one hitch out there, and I'm not really sure what that was loading. So I just wanted to show you what I've discovered and how I fix my lag at my airports. I know this doesn't really help a lot of people who have other kinds of lag that's just caused by scenery that they didn't create, so that's not going to help you much, and also from just random bugs in Vulkan. But maybe some scenery designers, if they are using these kind of files, will get a leg up on getting ready for Vulkan. We got a little bit of a leg dip there too. So it doesn't solve all problems, just one of them. Alright. Once again, thank you for watching, and If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe and join the Discord. I'm always posting different things. You can ask me some questions too on how I did this and anything else you have questions on. And until next time, I'll see you in the skies.